we're currently in the middle of May and things are going crazy, as we know, with the Pokemon Sword and Shield era. But which Pokemon sets are great for us to look at potentially making some moves due to availability and price? Now, a lot of these sets are going up, in value pretty much across the board. We've seen it already with Fusion Strike, Chilling Rainbow and Skies, and so on. There are still some sets in the Sword and Shield era which do have potential to continue to grow. Now, the other day I talked about Crown Zenith, and Crown Zenith is a set which I do feel like is very, very strong and a good set to invest in the long term, even though it is a holiday set. Well, today I'm going to be talking about main sets. There's two sets in particular. The first one I'm going to be talking about in today's video, and then the second one I'm going to be doing in tomorrow's video. But today we're going to be talking about the best set ever created, Battle Styles. I know, crazy. It's going to be a good one, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about Battle Styles. I know you may be thinking, what on earth is going on? Now, it was the first set that introduced us in the era with alt arts. You had the alt art sleeping Tyranitar and a bunch of others as well, but it was mainly Tyranitar that everybody kept going on about. Look, it's my boy T-Tar. It's amazing, right? Battle Styles is a set at the moment where it is actually relatively cheap in comparison to some of the other Sword and Shield era booster boxes. It is on the rise already, which we'll take a look at on TCG Player, and we're going to be taking a look at PokeJace.io at the single card prices and the graded prices of these cards, because that's something that we need to be looking an eye out on, is also the graded prices for some of these Sword and Shield alt arts and the biggest cards in these sets. So we're going to be jumping in. Battle Styles, why is it good? Well, let's find out. Alright, so we're on TCG Player. We're going to be taking a look at the booster box first for Battle Styles. So as you can see, it has been on the rise. $126 by the time you take into consideration shipping, taxes and other things. You're going to be looking at probably over 130 a box. So it is on the uptick, and that's actually impressive. Battle Styles, let's be fair, honestly, places couldn't get rid of it enough. It was everywhere, and I mean dirt cheap as well. I mean, it was just, let's be fair, this was the neglected set. People just didn't care about this at all. And I think since we've seen the boom of a lot of these Sword and Shield sets that contain alt arts, mainly the Trainer Gallery ones, then we saw obviously Evolving Skies, generated Fusion Strike for the non-Trainer Gallery ones. Everyone's like, well, what about Battle Styles, right? Now, I've been a big advocate for Battle Styles for the longest time. It's the only set in the Sword and Shield era where I actually have a master set of it, because that's how much I actually like Battle Styles. Now, I actually have 2 boxes. That's it. I don't actually have that many. It was a set where I kind of felt like I wanted to spend my money elsewhere at that time. And I think that's fair for a lot of things with the Sword and Shield era, is the fact is that there were just better things to buy. Now, however, we're starting to see some booster boxes already, go really, really high. Haven't really, they're not really climbing that quick, or they're kind of plateauing a little bit. Whereas Battle Styles is basically on the come up. It's on the way to where it should be, in my opinion. I think it should be, not the worst set in the Sword and Shield era. That's, in my opinion, Dance of Blaze. I think Dance of Blaze and Pokemon Go are by far the worst. But I do feel like Battle Styles is going to be a good one. So if you haven't got any at the moment, it's one of the cheapest. I think it's actually the cheapest still booster box that you can pick up in the Sword and Shield era. So, in my opinion, the risk of this one is a little bit lower than some of the others, just because the entry point is a lot lower, right? We go back over the past year, and booster boxes were around that 110 to 100 for the longest time. And I remember not even that long ago you could pick them up here for like 90 to 100 pounds. So now it's getting a bit harder to just find Battle Styles booster boxes. I mean, it has been out a while, don't forget, so it is relatively cheap. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Alright, so that's the booster boxes. Let's jump over to the singles. So we're on PokeJace.io today. We're going to be taking a look at the biggest cards in the set, their graded prices, and their raw prices. So first off, total value of the Battle Styles Master Set is $550. I don't even know how much it cost me to finish the set, because I can tell you right now, I didn't pull much of these cards. I mean, I did pick up the T-Tars. We're looking at the T-Tar here. $155. I did actually pick up the T-Tar, maybe 70, 80, something like that. There's one thing I will say about the Tyranitar. Obviously, the single card prices and the graded prices we'll get to in a moment, and they are going up. Over here in the UK, though, you can still pick up Tyranitar on eBay, and I've seen recently sold listings going anywhere between 70 to like 80, 85. So you can still pick up the Tyranitar for a reasonable price. So keep that in mind if you're over here in the UK and you don't yet have it. It is a lot cheaper. Right, so Tyranitar V OR, we're looking on eBay. The average market price is $110. TCG Player 155, and Card Market 101. I do feel like, again, TCG Player, as we've seen recently with a lot of these single cards, they seem to be a little bit out of touch, if you know what I mean. They seem to be a bit off on their own compared to some other places like eBay and Card Market. Whether or not this manipulation, who knows, but that's why you should always shop around and have a look around. So let's take a look at this. So if we take a look at the PSA 10 price, we're looking at $275 for this big boy. 3,000, that's a low. It still sounds like quite a lot. This is a hard card to get a PSA 10. Now I've got one graded, and mine got a PSA 8, which is a big oof. The original print run of Battle Stars, kind of like Chill and Rain as well, was pretty bad. So it was a bit of a bummer, but I am looking to upgrade mine to a 10 eventually. But yes, it is pretty high at 275. Then you look at PSA 9, you look at 125, 126. Now obviously if you compare it to the TCG player price, you're going to lose money, right? I probably wouldn't look at the TCG player price, but it's not too bad in a 9. And then yeah, the rest is pretty bad. I mean, I got mine in a PSA 8 and that kind of sucks. So let's take a look at a PSA 10 for this card. So we've got the blue line here. So over the past 6 months, their PSA 10 price was like 200, dropped to maybe like 190, 180 there, and is now on the uptick at nearly 300. So it's actually doing very well, and a PSA 10 is climbing reasonably well. Like I said, it's hard to get a 10. I know somebody already got 3,000, but it's tough, right? And Battle Stars is a really tough set. Bear in mind, this set's been out for some time, which is actually quite interesting. Of course, yeah, like I say, we see the TCG player price. To give you guys an example, it was sat at $100, you know, $90 to $100 for the longest time, and then literally over the past month, gone from 90 to 155. Whereas if you look at the market value, which is the average market value across all different types of markets, eBay, TCG player, and so on, we see it's like 80, 90, 77 at one point, but it has risen. So we're looking around about that 130. So it has gone up from $90 or so over the past month, the beginning of April or so, to now. So it is on the uptick. TCG players driving that price up a little bit, but it is interesting that the boy T-Tar's doing pretty well. We move across to some of the other big cards in the set. We do have the other alt arts, of course, as well, which is the Rapid Strike Urshifu V. So obviously, T-Tar's going up, but what about some of the other alt arts, right? From Battle Stars. What about it? So we're looking at $52 eBay, 58 TCG player, 87 card markers. That one's a little bit way out of touch there. So we've got PSA 10, 137, and a lot less in a Pop 10. Now, I actually have this in a PSA 10. I was really happy to have this in a PSA 10. Beautiful card, though. Really, really nice. PSA 9, kind of breaking even. And then if you get an 8 or a 7, it kind of feels bad, right? So let's take a look at the PSA 10 graded price. So we've seen it go from around like 112, drop to like 85, and is now at its highest point at 140. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Like I say, I've got mine in a PSA 10. I'm pretty excited for that one. Just look at that T-Tar, right? If we look at the raw prices, so we've got TCG player in the orange, and then the market average in the raw. So you can see the TCG player is always like above the average market price. Actually quite interesting. But then as over the last like month or so, it's then starting to rise up to its highest point. So it is at its highest point right now compared to where it was 6 months ago. But yeah, TCG player still is driving the prices up higher than the rest of the market, even though card market for that one is actually relatively high. But quite interesting. Right, then we've got the single strike Urshifu Vmax. This one's cool. I do like this one. I like red, so I'm pretty biased towards this one. So this is a cheap art. In the grand scheme of things, they're cheap, but you're looking around $30 for this art. 37 there, 48 in card market, which is quite high. PSA 10 73 with a pop of less than 500. So not many people grading this, and especially in a 10, which actually is quite interesting, to be honest. So let's take a look at the PSA price. Of course, we saw some of the others go up. This one's actually pretty much going down, which is quite interesting. It did actually drop to $27. I don't know what the hell happened to that poor card there. If we look at the market price, so again, we have the blue is the average market, orange is TCG player. This was kind of like intertwining compared to some of the others where we've seen TCG player go above the average market price. This one's kind of, you know, flickering between the two. Again, reasonably cheap card, not one of the, you know, big top cards of the Sword and Shield era, but definitely one of the big top cards of the set. Then we have the Empoleon, another OR. There's quite a few ORs in the set, by the way. There's actually quite a few. I think a lot of people do forget about that. So we've got the Empoleon, we're looking around 30 to 41, so the price range does vary. PSA 10 though, 90, that's pretty good, like tripling your value there. 1,200, not a huge amount compared to some of the others, of course. So again, let's take a look at the PSA price. I can't get the feeling it's been going up, right? Yeah. So it was around $41, holy smokes, and is now 90, so it's doubled in value over the last 6 months in a PSA 10. So that is good, you know, to be honest. And then again, we're looking at the market prices. They're kind of intertwining, right? So the average market price was above TCG player, and that's a little bit more balanced, to be fair. You know, it's flickering between the two. Still his highest point, to be honest, around 30 to 35, but not too bad. And then some of the other cards, we've got the Gold Houndoom, which is one of my favorite cards. We're looking around $15 for that one. You've got some more alt arts there. So this set actually has, what, like 6 alt arts. That's actually pretty good. And then you got like full art trainers and rainbows. Rainbows, in my opinion, are not going to do very well. You know, overall, this set is relatively cheap. Like if you want to buy a master set or complete a master set, it is relatively cheap. Bearing in mind that the T-Tar is climbing, which is, you know, one thing to look out for. There you have it, guys. Battle Styles. I do think it'll do pretty well. Like, if you're looking to invest in some Sword and Shield era booster boxes that doesn't necessarily break the bank and have, I'd say, high risk, but a higher risk than Battle Styles. Battle Styles is a good one. It is, right? We're looking at Evolving Skies, you know, Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, and Chill and Rain, and even Brilliant Stars now are on the uptick. They're doing very well. They're sold out on the Pokemon Center website. It's just going to keep going up and up and up and up. You know, over time, you know, they're not going to continue, well, they might continue to shoot up, we don't know, but they're on the uptick. But this is going to be a good one, you know, in my opinion. I think Battle Styles, like I said, it's the neglected set. You know, I talked about Fusion Strike being the forgotten set, you know, over a year and a half ago. And it was, to be fair. And then I talked about Chill and Rain being the underrated set. And it was the underrated set. And look where it is now. Whereas I think Battle Styles is the neglected set. We have to wait and see how well it will do over time. But it's doing well. Booster boxes on the rise. I mean, they're gone up by like 30% or more in the past couple of, like, probably past month or so. We're looking at the T-Tar going up in value, gaining over 50% in value in the past month and a half. So there are big movements happening with Battle Styles, but the entry point, pretty decent. You know, you can pick up a box for around 130. Not too bad in the grand scheme of things. If you made this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments about Battle Styles. Do you think Battle Styles is a good pickup? Do you have any Battle Styles? Me, I have a master set and 2 booster boxes. I might get a couple more. Like, I usually tend to go for like 6, like a case worth of sets I really like, or more if I can get hold of more. But I do have 2. I might go up to 6, to be fair. I'm leaning towards it because it is just, in my opinion, it's such a good set and it means a lot to me. I don't know why, but it does. And so I like this set. So I probably will go and pick up some more. Like I say, over here in the UK, probably looking at boxes around that 125, 130 mark. So I think it's a pretty good one to get. But if you want to know about Crown Zenith, which is another fantastic set to invest in for the long term, make sure to click the video on the screen right now. If you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright, guys, that's it from me in today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends. I'll see you in the next one.